In this video, we're going to be talking about some integration rules. So things where you can manipulate functions to make it easier to solve for the integral. So let's say you had an integral, and you had two functions added together, right? Well, what you can actually do is separate the two functions so that you can calculate them as individual integrals, individually. And also, if you have some coefficient, so let's say you had some variable a multiplied by your function, you can factor out a and then just take the integral of f of x. So you can kind of just ignore a, you can bring a on the outside, whatever coefficient you have, kind of just get rid of it. You can ignore it. And an example of this would be 3x squared plus 3x cubed. Instead of having to take 3 into account in your reverse power rule to solve this integral, you can just take out the 3, so you can factor out the 3 like so. And what you can actually do is move the 3 out. So after you factor out the 3, you can just move the 3 out the integral to get this x to the power 3 dx. And let me move this so that it gets, yikes, rectangle will not work there. Let's move this so it's not off the screen. But these are the two main integration rules. You can separate them if you can separate two functions as long as they're separated by a plus or a minus. Doesn't matter. You can do this with multiple functions, like if you had another one, h of x. You can separate it again. Now here are the things you can't do. The things you can't do is when you have some function multiplied by another function. You cannot, let's use the rectangle, you cannot separate them like this. You absolutely cannot. This is a no-no. Do not do this. If you do this, you will get in trouble. Okay, maybe not in trouble, but your teacher's gonna like palm their face. The thing about this rule is that it's in order to solve for this, you need to use something called integration by parts. You learn that in calculus 2. You might learn that in some calculus 1 classes, but that's in the very later end. So you cannot, I repeat, you cannot separate your integral if there's two functions multiplied together. And an example of this would be x times e to the x. You cannot take the integral of this by separating the function x and e to the x.